Hey, this is the World Advice Channel 2. What I want to talk about today is the problem with the 2028 Democrat nominees for the presidential election. So for this video, I'm going to discuss the problem with the people who will represent the left-wing party in a simple and straightforward way so anyone can understand it. So if you are interested in knowing what the problem with them is, then watch this video and you will find out, and trust me, you won't be disappointed. So now I mention that, let's get started. So when it comes to the problem with the 2028 Democrat nominees, which of course is the party I'm a part of, of the political aisle, because I'm a left-wing person. The problem with them is that they preach things that just turn people off, okay? Whether it comes down to economic ideologies, to just the wokeness and stuff. So in other words, to sum it up, they're just literally a representation of everything people hate about the left, okay? Their policies, to be even more exact, their policies are problematic, which will make it less likely that they're going to actually win and make it more likely that Donald Trump, for all you know, might serve a third term, because he has said he's interested in doing a third term, or JD Vance, is going to be someone who is going to win the 2028 election, okay? And that is the truth. So let me explain in full detail why these people are problematic. Because the truth of the matter is, when I actually looked at the people who are eligible, for the 2028 election for Democrats side, they fall under pretty much the ones that literally everyone pretty much hates. Kamala Harris is for one. The second one is AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And thirdly, just to add to that, insult to injury, Gavin Newsom, who, let's be honest, has done a terrible job running California, okay? So just people like them, who everyone pretty much hates, to be honest with you, are the ones who are going to represent the Democratic Party, okay? And that is the problem with, of course, these people, okay? Is that they are just going to just turn people off from the left wing, which in other words is just going to make it more likely that the Republicans are wrong. Because the truth of the matter is, when it comes to the policies these left-wingers are doing, specifically this new generation of woke left-wingers, are doing, is they're just promoting stuff that just not only makes people feel uncomfortable, whether it comes down to trying to make it possible for gay people to be completely not even a case about giving them rights, but like to kind of force the gay ideology and mindset on other people, like trying to teach kids, it's okay to have same-sex relationships and this and that, having all gender bathrooms and all this freaking foolishness that literally makes everybody feel fucking uncomfortable. Or it can be, of course, their political ideology, this whole communist bullshit that is just, well, history has shown, doesn't really work, the communism / socialism bullshit that you hear about all the time, to put it bluntly, to be honest with you. So the truth of the matter is, to be quite blunt and honest with you, not all these things that they're doing is exactly what has turned so many people off from the left wing. Even a lot of people who have been very strong Democrats for the past few decades, people like them are the reason why everybody fucking is leaving the Democratic Party, and the mainstream general public that's not either left-wing or right-wing, leading in a way of thinking they're actually a mix of in between, are actually, being more likely to say, maybe I'm going to vote for the right, because they are actually, even though they're not the greatest, they at least will keep things stable. We do not have to live in a world where people, can get in trouble for calling someone the wrong pronoun, and this and that. To be quite blunt and honest with you, we don't have to worry about these silly identity politics, like, like calling someone Latinx instead of Latino and all this freaking foolishness, let alone, of course, the idea of having a communism, pretty much take over our nation and all that type of stuff. And that's exactly what I'm fucking saying. And this is the thing, which is turning a lot of people off from the left-wing party and why they keep on, as a result, freaking losing elections, because they just simply don't seem to get it, that this radical way of thinking is not working. And when you're going to have the same exact people who everyone hates, and more specifically, hates them because of these radical leftist views and opinions, the truth of the matter is, what do you think is going to be more likely to happen? You think people are going to vote for them? You think people are going to vote for Kamala Harris, who can't even say things properly, when it comes to her speeches and stuff, and has kind of promoted things that are kind of silly, in honesty. You think people are going to vote for AOC, who literally is the type of person who gets offended by literally everything and has a long rap sheet of getting offended by literally everything imaginable and beyond? Or, of course, Gavin Newsom, who can't run the state of California even well, for that matter. And that's what I'm trying to say. This is why people are not voting for the left. Because the truth of the matter is, if you're gonna vote for all this stupid shit, or I should say, in other words, if you're gonna vote for these stupid policies that are enacted by these politicians, the three I mentioned, and there's other ones as well who are exactly a part of the new generation of the left wing. The truth of the matter is, it makes it more likely people are not going to vote, and I don't like that, because the truth of the matter, as a black person myself, of course, let alone people who are minorities, but specifically, of course, black people, it of course makes sense that we want to obviously have a left-wing person in power. The conservatives have historically been extremely racist and hateful. They haven't changed. They're always getting caught up in scandals where they have group chats leaked and they're saying the N-word, the N-word, the word nigger, spook, gook, wetback, and all that type of stuff. But specifically, of course, their hatred is directed mainly towards black people and all this type of stuff. So the truth of the matter is, with all that freaking crap going on, why the hell would I want to have a world where things are run by them? And that's exactly what I'm trying to get across here. It makes it worse for people who are of color, with the pain and suffering we already go through on a day-to-day basis, specifically, of course, black people. No shit, to have these people in charge, because it makes it less likely people are going to want to fucking vote for the left. They're going to be more likely to vote for the right. And this is exactly the problem I've been talking about. And this is my freaking issue with, of course, the left wing. Why can't the left be like how it used to be, like when, in the 2000s, when they had people like John Kerry, obviously you had people like Barack Obama and all that type of stuff, and all that stuff. They focused more on policies instead of getting offended by everything, and they actually were not socialist / communists with an agenda to of course, try to, change America, in that way, and that's exactly what I'm trying to fucking say here. And that's what I'm trying to get across here. This is what I'm fucking talking about. So as a result, that is the honest truth of the matter. Why the fuck can't we just, as a left-wing party, be like how we used to be back then? Why does it have to be all this radical weird shit, like this identity politics stuff, like, oh, we need to have an LGBTQ plus character, let alone representation in media all the time and all this crap that doesn't fucking matter. Like, who cares? For that matter, about that crap. Who gives a crap? Gay people already have rights. They can walk anywhere they want to without being hit and attacked. Why do we care about having to have posters with men kissing each other and all that stuff? What the hell does that do? And just a lot of this crap about getting offended by everything. Having a main black character is apparently racist, and there's all this Twitter nonsense and identity politics stuff, let alone try to promote political ideology like communism / socialism, that literally every nation that's fully embraced it has literally collapsed. And that's exactly what I'm trying to get across here. Why can't it be like they used to be? And that's the truth of the matter. So in short, that is my problem with the 2028 Democratic nominees. Okay, so now, of course, since we're towards the end of the video, the message I just want to get to the video, the last point, for this video is that what if we as left-wing people are going to want to be powerful again, we need to change this bullshit about of this new wave woke liberalism is turning people off. What we need to do is we need to go back to our roots, to what we were before this woke crap started to take over, and that is the honest truth. If we want to win elections, okay, and that is the truth, to be quite blunt and honest with you. And if we can do that, then of course we are more likely to be elected and help fully, as a result, live in a less racist, bigoted society as a whole. And that's the truth. And that is off the saying. So people, I'm out. Bye.